It's time for trigger warning.
Trigger warning! Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake! Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!
Hello and welcome to Trigger Warning at last. I don't know what the red stream health was about, but we're very lucky. I'm Hayden Hewitt and I'm joined, of course, by Ms. Greta Booth.
Hi man, good to see you.
You too. How you doing, fella? You alright?
I'm good. I'm a bit windy though.
Yeah, no, we heard just as we rolled the intro. Anyone listening back, you will hear Graham being windy.
Yeah, it wasn't a sound effect or a bit. It was genuinely like my insides going, ooh, ooh.
So if we cut short tonight, you'll know it's because somebody needs a poo really, really badly.
Yeah, it just goes like this for me. You can just hear me going, ah!
Well, happens to us all. Age, irritable bowel syndrome. Yeah, not so much like a sighing horse, Happy Dog, more like a coughing horse.
Oh, yeah.
The stream buffered again. I don't know what's going on, because I've just checked the internet speed out of here and it's fine. I'm still going out at over 30 megabits per second, which is more than enough for a YouTube stream.
God, yeah. Anything more than
In fact, no, it's going out at over 50. So, yeah.
Well, it's lucky we're getting all this upgraded, isn't it, Aiden?
Isn't it just? It's time for an upgrade. As you guys know, we pretty much hit the target. Thanks very much to all your generosity and the incredible Mark Bayersky, who I'd never spoken to before. Never spoken to one. Rolled in like a superhero. So we've been sourcing equipment. We've now bought the main A camera. We have a B and C camera now, two smaller cameras. We've got the capture card. We've got the converters that we need to use the capture card. We've bought a lens. We've gone very light on the lens because new camera, got to get used to it. You don't want to spend heavy and not know what the results are going to be. And the next thing we're looking at is building the studio PC, which Natalie, bless her, has sourced us loads of very reasonably priced parts, giving us all the links and everything, and doesn't realise the sheer misery she's letting herself in for when this pair of boomers starts trying to build a PC. I've not built one since i5 was still a powerful chip, so... Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing, Fat Belly. The burglars can watch it all they like. It's nothing staying in the studio now. It's all going to be racked up and boxed up and goes away.
Yeah. None of it's going to stay there. In fact, that's part of the new build, isn't it? The portability of it. Just rip it all out. It's been a very stressful few phone calls, though, hasn't it?
It's been brutal because, what's ridiculously hard. I'm bad enough when I'm spending my own money. When you look, especially when you start looking into cameras, because we couldn't buy the cameras that we had. No chance. We didn't have the budget for that. So you've got to start researching cameras, and that just leads you down blind alleys. And on the internet, everyone thinks they're the expert and what they know is best, and this one's good, that one's shite, it doesn't do this, it doesn't do that. And you start falling down this rabbit hole of, I need that next best thing and that next best thing. But in the end, what I did, I just drew a line under it and said, you know what, I'm going to go for an older model that's got years of proven reliability.
Appropriate. Trigger warning.
Absolutely. More than meets our specification for streaming and the other work that we do. By getting rid of 4K altogether, because I don't work in 4K, the workflow is just awful. That opened a load of opportunities up as well. So that's what we did. We went very sensible. And like I say, the lens thing took 2 days. That drove me insane. We're not buying Graham new headphones. No.
I don't need new... Look, I've got my headphones here. She's just done something with the wire. I need a new wire, if anything.
I don't know why I don't use my... I've got those PlayStation wireless headphones. I should use those. But let's have a look here. What we got is, did you check Gumtree for your stolen stuff? Yeah, we've checked everywhere. The police have been to all the usual shops.
I've been on Gumtree like every day, a few times a day, just scrolling and scrolling.
It's even the petty things, like we have to buy new tripod plates.
Yeah. The thing about these though, if they've any half a sense of what they're doing, a lot of them they stockpile stuff for like a year or so, don't they? You know, they find the houses now and again, don't they? We're just stacked full of crap that they've just been, because they don't want to do anything whilst it's still fresh.
Yeah, well, those tripod plates piss me off as well, because, you know, I'm very attached to one of those tripods. It's strange. I formed an emotional attachment to a tripod the minute we bought it. I mean, we bought it about 6 years ago, and it's carbon fibre, the Sackley. If you were at Meat Space, it's the one the big camera behind you was sat on. Very, very fond of that tripod. Not in a sexual way, just maybe a slightly romantic way. And, anyway, look, if everything turns up on time, Trigger Warning in the studio will be returning either next Thursday or at the very worst the Thursday after, because seeing as it's all new, we have to spend at least a day or two setting everything up again. Oh, we've also bought new software as well, because we couldn't decide between a hardware or a software route, but going hardware was too expensive in the end and overkill for what we do. So maybe down the line. So next Thursday, at the very worst, the Thursday after, Trigger Warning will be back in the studio, and which means hopefully not long after that the Richie Allen show will start in the studio as well.
Yeah, I can't wait. Good lad. He's been going on. I've not listened to it today because I can never listen to his radio show live because it's on the worst time for my daughter being around, and you know, it's not that he's an atrocious man, but he does let his mouth run off sometimes, and she knows the bad words, and she'll, Daddy, turn it off, that man said a bad word, and I just can't be bothered. I can't be bothered with normalising it, especially because he makes me laugh. You know, it's the worst thing when there's a bad word and she catches me laughing at it. You know. Happy
Dogs just said, check Screwfix. They do a twin set of 1600 lumen LED light and tripod 50. They've not stolen our lights. You'd need a lorry to get all those light boxes out. Because all our lights, because it's like a studio set, we just use big daylight boxes. Literally, I mean, the lamp itself is only about yay big, but the daylight box is my webcam isn't wide enough for me to demonstrate. But they'd be very awkward and worthless. The idea of robbing those would be crazy.
And people are talking about the wire as well. Like, my headphones just have a jack that plugs in, so it's like you jack at both ends. You know, so you can replace it. It's not.
Is it like that time in the studio when you stepped on my headphone wire and left the jack plug in the computer?
Come on. You'd left them on the fucking floor, Aiden, with the wire trailing everywhere. It was like
where were the headphones, Graham?
It was like a fucking trap.
Where were the headphones?
The headphones were on top of the tower down there with the wire everywhere. What was I supposed to do?
Look.
Yeah, you do look, don't you? But it's like a fucking, you know, there's a reason people put trip wires down there in moments of war.
You know, I have to tell my son, you know, we all make mistakes. We all do things we shouldn't. But the trick is not to just blame other people.
I'm just not accepting 100% of the responsibility, which was the assumed thing at the time. I'm not doing
Natalie says cable management. Yeah, the problem is not the cable management, it's the booth management.
No.
If there's something to bump into, kick over, knock over in that studio, it's going to be the booth. The only funnier accident was when we were doing a live stream, and it was the birthday when we had over 3,000 viewers, and Wingman John kicked his main socket out of the wall. That was it. Gone for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was another genius placement, though, wasn't it? Especially considering we got the amount of.
This was the old studio. This was the old studio. We didn't have that.
Yeah, we didn't know, did we? We didn't know at the time, like the length of wires we had in the place.
We inherited about 200 extension plugs, didn't we? I don't know where they all came from, but I've kept them.
I don't know. Just came in.
I've kept them.
Happy Dogs mentioned coronavirus there, which I saw again that I've not seen on Richie Allen. He was talking about it being a hoax today, and I think I probably agree some elements of it are being hoaxed, but not to hide 5G or any of that nonsense. I think it's I think I think it's been downplayed severely. I know there's a lot of panic there.
Oh,
There's a lot of
Richie and
people-
his people think the other way. Who's the guy he
Yeah,
he
I know
pointed
they
to
do.
today? That conspiracy guy. Rappaport. I was trying to think. Same name as that midget guy that killed himself. Rappaport. Is it John Rappaport? And he was going on that it's, everyone's already had the coronavirus and, it's not that severe and people have already got it and it's no big deal. And people are going, yeah, you're right. And I'm thinking, well, I'm not being funny. We automatically assume all these scientists are wrong and lying. And this guy's got the answers. No proof. No, he just tells you how it is, Graham.
Yeah.
And we have to assume that's true. Now, I was talking with Alex online today a little and said about, the guy from the Streatham stabbing, who his mother said was a nice and polite young man. And I do question how nice, polite young men find themselves in Belmarsh prison being radicalised. And they said he was radicalised online, and we said, you can't be radicalised online. Then I went and looked at this Rappaport, David Rappaport, whatever his name, clip, or story, and I thought, no fuck, people can be radicalised online. Look, all it takes. All it takes is someone sounding like an authority. Sounding like, I've got the inside line, guys. If I'd come out and said, let me tell you the truth about the coronavirus, everyone going, oh, fuck off, Aiden. You know what I mean? What the fuck do you know about the coronavirus? Do one. That's why I mostly post about paedophiles, obviously.
Specialist subject.
Well, no offence. I'm pointing at you. I know you're a no-map, so it's okay. Yeah, so it's as soon as someone's there with a voice of authority saying something you kind of want to believe anyway, it's like, oh shit, that's it. So that's how they radicalise people. See, all you chemtrails fuckers, you're on the road. Next thing you know, we'll be hearing about you. Such a nice, polite boy when he was radicalised in prison.
I worry about it all in terms of, have you seen the footage of like families being boarded up inside their own houses as in China?
Oh, God,
screaming,
yeah.
Screaming as bars are going up against the doors and that, and you're just like, has China ever lied about this sort of thing before?
Yeah, it's just a cold, guys.
It's just.
I'm only gonna freak out when the complete media blackout comes and the rumours start. Have you ever read World War Z? World War Z.
Never read it, no.
The book is magnificent, but basically, the whole thing starts in China. It's what's happening, dude.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, I'm not panicked about it one way or the other. I'm really.
You
not.
will
There's
be.
No need to be right
You
now.
will be when the dead start walking the earth. When that shit happens, it's like, oh no, someone else has died from the coronavirus, and mysteriously, where they died, there's been an outbreak of civil disruption and violence. That's how it starts.
Well, I think I tweeted something like that on Friday, won't we? Because if this, that's what I tweeted. If this were a movie, at 11 o'clock, as the Brexit bongs were being faked, Boris would have got a call saying the dead are rising.
Yeah.
It's the coronavirus. The clues were there.
Got
all
to
along.
say, Rick Kerr says, Hayden, you're giving your opinion just as much as the next person, but the people on Richie's show have websites with proof. Rick, I'm giving an opinion. I'm not telling you how things are. This is my opinion on shit in the world. I don't expect people to blindly accept anything I say because it is opinion unless I present a fact. These people with websites with proof often don't have anything that would pass any reasonable test of proof. Each relies on a leap of faith. That doesn't mean they're all false. No, it doesn't mean they're all false. The best conspiracies are built around some small core truth, or at least strong possibility, if not probability. But please, every time someone tells me, go there for the proof, it requires a leap of faith. That's how it works. It's faith. It requires it. So you can't really lecture me because I'm not here positioning myself as someone who's telling you how it is. Let me give you the inside line. Shit you didn't know. Shit I've just made up and written down on my fucking website that I will link you to as proof. No, fuck that. Think for yourself. I give an opinion. Disagree. Agree. Doesn't matter why you are now. That's cool. If you think those fucking moonbats milking the gullible are truthful, that's fine. Because if you know it's Richie Allen, he doesn't do that shit. He has passionate beliefs, like vaccines can be harmful. Not all vaccines are harmful. He has passionate beliefs. He believes they are spraying us from aeroplanes. That's fine. But he positions them as such. This is why I believe it. When you start saying people like Rappaport have got proof about this virus that originated from China, he knows fuck all about what goes on inside China. Absolutely fuck all. He's made this sweeping statement that coronavirus is very common. All these people had it already. It's nonsense. Well, yeah, of course he did, Dr. fucking Rappaport. Just pulled out his ass. It's not proof. Fuck that shit. There we go. Here endeth the fucking lecture.
Is that sorted now then? Yeah.
I fixed that.
I
fixed that.
I mean, I've just been trying to have a look at this. Natalie sent us a thing. Look up the origins of the COV virus, Wuhan, blah blah blah. I don't know. Recombination.
Oh, there was that thing of the Chinese, wasn't there? They were arrested for stealing from a lab in Canada. Maybe it was man-made. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm open to the possibility. What I don't like is some fucking finger sniffer coming going, I'll tell you the truth. Fuck off. I trust you, come on.
Yeah, I can't. I'm sorry, Natalie. I can't just absorb all of that right now, but I will keep it open to have a look. In fact, what I'll do is I'll add it to my bookmarks on Firefox, because that's my good place to go to.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all these conspiracy guys. Oh, God, Rick, my stance is these people have degrees, experts in their field of some description. What's Rappaport's expertise in his field? An investigative reporter on the internet. What's his expertise in knowing what happens inside China? Not just inside China, but within the Chinese government, and possibly their work with biological diseases and weapons. What's his expertise in that? Because, I had a look, didn't see fuck all. A lot of these conspiracy guys, it just drives me crazy. Like, the Boston bombing was a hoax. He didn't really have his legs blown off. Why is the cunt still in a fucking wheelchair? Why wasn't he in one 2 weeks before the fucking bombing? They can't help themselves. They jump in with it. They jump in. And again, I'm not saying, if those Chinese guys, the male and female doctors were arrested after stealing stuff out of a lab, it could have come from a lab. It could have.
Yeah,
we have to remain open to the possibilities. It's when you start talking in absolutes that the problems begin.
But whether or not, I mean, I haven't thought in any way about the origins of it. I don't much care yet, because none of it's going to be factual. It's all going to be speculation at the moment. I'm not asked about where it came from. I'm asked about whether or not it's going to spread. Despite the woke people desperately trying to keep borders as open as possible. Have you seen that? Have you seen the thing about don't let the virus be an excuse for racism? And then it's like, well, what's racist? Closing borders. But it's like, like Australia got told off a lot for putting non-citizens into a thing for 2 weeks. In fact, no, sorry, citizens in isolation for 2 weeks, and they've been banning non-citizens from flying there.
It's not really racism, is it?
It's got sweet.
It's not really racism. It's not wanting everyone to get the Chinese dog cough.
Yeah, well, what it's doing is it's pointing at a flight from China, and it being like, I don't know, plucking it out of the air. But for the example, that flight being considered 90% Chinese people. And then going, well, it's mostly Chinese people that this is affecting. So it's obviously some sort of conspiracy
the woke people
to get yellow folk. And it's like, no, it's just because of where flights come from and, the general demographic of those flights.
Well, I saw something from the woke people today. Not on this particular thing, but, a lot of the follow back pro-Europe people can be very, very woke, can't they? I'm going to tell you something terribly unprofessional and show my phone to the camera. But one of the follow back pro-Europe people posted, I don't know if you can see it, that is, of course, Brexit Mach Fei, which is the Auschwitz gates with work will set you free, replaced with Brexit will set you free. Now, fair enough.
I've seen this.
But
yes,
do you know what I mean?
yes.
Fair enough. No problem with me. But these are the same fuckers that will cancel the shit out of everyone, and they're ignoring it because he's one of the right people.
Yeah. That was beyond disgraceful. Like, that's the sort of thing that if your Alex Jones or Tommy Robinsons would have posted something even slightly along those lines, they would have been demolished for it.
Oh yeah.
Which is the thing that frustrates me. Like, I saw that and I was like, oh, that's what? As if comparing Brexit to the Holocaust. The fuck are you talking about?
Woke as fuck.
But I don't want that person to lose their job or lose their profile or lose their ability to feed the family or anything.
I don't even see a problem with it. It's neither here nor there. What you do is you pull them to pieces for it. But
yeah,
it's what pisses me off is that these fuckers would cancel the shit out of you if you weren't the right person, and that pisses me off insanely. You know, they campaign for it. A lot of shit's been going wrong for the woke people. That's Stephanie Hayden, the trans one that claimed to be a lawyer and all those things or whatever. Blocked me a long time ago. Didn't sue me. Clearly knew there was no gold in them there hills. Dropped the lawsuit quietly against somebody. They came to an agreement and signed an agreement to not talk about it, but dropped it. There is no way Stephanie Hayden would have dropped that lawsuit. Shit is just not going their way now. It's gone too far.
Yeah,
it's gone too far. All this shit.
It is, and I think Trump 2020 is going to be a huge nail in the woke coffin. I think they're finally going to have to give up and start rebranding communism as some brand new thing, and it's probably going to be environmentalism. You know, I mean, there's a few of them already that way. There's quite a few of them that are like, they call them watermelons, don't they? Green on the outside, red on the inside. And I suspect that's where the woke thing will go, because there's a lot of room there for moral outrage and superiority and you know, to sort of like exert control over people. I suspect it'll be the green movement. It's going to pick up steam.
All I know is it's like we said it even before he got in for the first one. Another term.
Oh, of course.
2-term president. Iowa was just a broadside.
Did you see it? Did you see the clusterfuck that's happening down there? They can't help but eat their own, can they? They can't help but just destroy each other. Like the thing was total chaos. It stinks of corruption.
It was madness.
For one of the most sort of established political parties on the planet, the party of Obama, to actually involve an app with a voting system. Like, anyone that does like political science and looks at like actual voting techniques will tell you, do not put technology anywhere near the process. It is, apart from the fact that it is phenomenally vulnerable, it's unreliable. You know, it doesn't work, and it's been proved, hasn't it?
Oh yeah. Bless Graham, someone's pulled you there.
What?
Bill Dower, I think I knew who that was, but it slipped my mind. Says, you're tagging environmentalists as commies. Fuck me, talk about shite on the net. Have you ever looked? Dude, you need to calm your tits. Have you seen the manifesto?
Bill Dower. Yeah, what about go on Extinction Rebellion's page? Look at what it says.
Spot what's got to do with the environment. They don't give a fuck about the environment. Are you insane? And that's not a conspiracy. One of their key people in the UK said, no, the environment is just a tool for making a better world. A world that looks remarkably like something Chairman Mao would have liked. So,
Greta says it. She stands there giving off the anti-capitalist talking points. It is blatantly a communist movement. And I'm not talking about the vast majority. There's a lot of incredibly useful idiots who really genuinely care about the planet, who go and stand on the streets. Yeah. But the people running the show, that's not their perspective. They don't give a fuck about they don't give a fuck about saving the environment or saving people. They don't. Because what they're demanding would kill millions. This whole like destroying fossil fuel industry, like now, today, that isn't about
Well,
environmentalism.
look at what our government have now agreed to. We're going to be the only country that bans fucking motor cars.
I know, it's fucking insane.
It's not going to happen. They're going to
They've
roll
no
that back. They're going to
idea
roll
how
that
the
back.
kale gets on their shelves, have they?
Yeah, it's going to be rolled back. We all know it is. It's just placating at the moment. They always placate before the stick comes out. Just say, Rick Kerr asked me how Slipknot were in Manchester. Slipknot were fucking epic.
Yeah.
Junior and I had a very good time. They were really good. One of the better live acts I've seen. Yeah, awesome.
And I love it as well. The big thing with the environmental movement at the moment is taxes.
Oh yeah,
which
tax
is
the
just,
shit out of you.
We need to tax the shit out of everything, which is just okay. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with the environment? Yeah. Nothing. Oh, my Google phone's just started telling me that it's answering on another device. So let's hope I'm not broadcasting me going fucking fuck to my daughter's bedroom or some nonsense. But you know what though? People have short memories. They forget. This same conversation's been going on years and years and years. In the 90s, we brought the exact same thing in. We brought a tax on flying, and it was the exact same thing. It was for the environment, and it didn't do a fucking thing. And here's the thing as well: tell the truth. That's one of the Extinction Rebellion's main fucking things. There, one of the 3 demands: tell the truth. Something they are entirely incapable of. The biodiversity in America has gone up. It has leveled off in 10 years, and it is improved in the last 5 years.
Well,
and it is leveled off in Europe here.
Aphid Lip there says, who gives a shit what you call it? We are destroying the planet, plain and simple. We aren't making this planet a better place. I agree.
Yeah, no, let's do it. But
we're not here saying there's nothing wrong.
No, not at all.
It's what their goals are and how they're going about it that trouble us.
Yeah,
this isn't about cleaning up the earth. It's about giving control to those people.
Exactly, they're hiding behind reasonable things. But if they did give a shit, if they did genuinely give a shit, they wouldn't be banning straws. It doesn't do a fucking thing.
Oh, of course, the great one is McDonald's, isn't it? They got rid of the plastic straw that was recyclable and replaced it with a shit paper straw that isn't.
Yeah, of course.
Nailed it, McDonald's. Yeah. Nailed it. I bought 200 plastic straws the other day. I'm going to personally insert them into the noses of sea tortoises.
I actually ended up getting some metal ones.
I'm taking all plastic bags to SeaWorld next time I go to work because the fucking whales love them. They can't eat enough of those bastards.
Well, that's
do my bit, recycling.
No, I can't even get on these fucking people. Fuck them. I can't stand them. Why has my phone gone black and white? Oh, I've got my digital well-being thing now.
Ersatz Mode says 50% of plastic waste in the oceans is discarded fishing nets. Yes, and fish love them. Have you not seen all those dolphins and sharks rolling about in them?
Yeah, and when you cut them open and they're full of it, they obviously enjoy it.
It's like Blackpool Rock, except all the way through it doesn't say Blackpool. It says things like Sainsbury's. But, they love fishing nets. They're always rolling around and getting all snug.
Yeah, of course they are. Which, again, it's that thing as well. It's like, as people in this country do more and more, and we do, the Extinction Rebellion people just scream even louder.
Oh, it's never be enough. Nothing's
never
ever
be
enough
happy.
for fucking
And they quote global stats as if it's a slight against me and the way I live my fucking life. It's such bullshit.
Dude, Bill Dower says, dude, it's not funny.
What's not funny?
I don't know. Possibly the dolphins wrapping themselves up in fishing nets. It's not funny. Shouldn't joke about that. You should. I'll tell you what, Bill, why don't you email us live at triggerwarning.tv and send us in your list of acceptable things to laugh at so that we can avoid upsetting you. That would be a terrible shame to upset you. I'll think about you next time I'm forcing those straws up those tortoises' noses. And I know the sea turtles. I just like saying sea tortoise.
Dude. You were speaking of taxes and the nonsense of that. Have you seen the qualifying majority vote is being pushed even harder in the EU? And I love saying this because we can say fuck off to it now. It's not one of these looming tornadoes coming towards us where because already 80% of legislation in the EU is done by qualified majority voting, which means there is no veto.
Yes.
Despite what people would like you to hear, they're now bringing it into taxes because apparently the EU setting taxes across Europe, it just takes too long, Hayden, and there's too many vetoes involved, and there's too many countries who are as individual countries, as sovereign nations, just not happy with the current situation. So they're rolling that through right now just to celebrate Britain leaving, because we would have been the ones that had put a fucking no on that, wouldn't we?
Oh, I've just twigged Bill Dower is a butthurt guy off Lively because he posted something in one of our chats and posted the same thing on somewhere on Lively that I saw, but I don't remember who it is.
Oh, really?
He's got like this really chapped ass. He's really sore ass because clearly his life just did not turn out how he fucking hoped. And somehow part of that's my problem.
Bill, mate, Bill, let it go. Jesus Christ, you don't even want to know the weekend I've had, mate, and I'm still sat here with a smile on my face. My little girl was literally crying on me 1 minute before we came on air. Literally, she's really ill at the moment. I had this whole to do just before we came on air, but I'm fucking freaking out and crying and just let it go, man.
Bill,
this is
I
our
will flush
time of
a
the
plastic
week.
bag down the toilet just for you.
It's not. There's real life out there and things are going on, but this is our space and time to just let the fuck go, and just chill out.
Or stay butthurt, which is also fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for me. I can see it. In fact, it makes me feel better about my life to know that, someone's
people like you exist.
Much.
Robert Morgan says, "Isn't it funny that no one has ever taken a photo or a satellite picture of the island of plastic?" I'm sure there have been photos of them in
there. There's been I've had the exact same thought, Robert, and yeah, because they tell you that there's an island
the size of Texas or something.
Yeah,
I've never seen that.
No.
I don't have any reason to believe or disbelieve. I believe it's eminently possible.
I've done that same search myself and I've never found it. I've found like drone footage of quite large things, but I do think that the whole Texas thing, surely someone, like all this space footage, so surely someone would have gone, there it is. What you've done, you bastards.
What's that big blob of Texas-sized shit over there?
Yeah, they would have done it.
By the way, Bill, don't explain yourself, for fuck's sake. Relax. You're among friends. It's all right, dude.
All right.
None of this means fuck all.
I got to tell you, man, about this EU tax decision thing that they're doing in. They are bringing in a qualified majority for taxation. And one of the reasons is that billions are lost, and this is quoting from them, every year to cross border problems like tax avoidance and VAT fraud. VAT fraud? It's not fraud, is it? It's just you're in another country. This can only be addressed by EU action, better cooperation to recoup these huge losses. They're not losses, it's just taxes that don't get collected. Do you know who's going to be in an amazing position very, very soon be saying to companies, hey, you can come here for little to no taxes. You can bring you tens of thousands of jobs. We're even good mates with Trump now, so we're all good.
Well, it's going good places.
Yeah, I'm that happy.
I woke up after Brexit Day. Oh, hold on.
Can you hear that?
I've got a stunt picture in case you have to leave.
No.
No, but I've got a picture ready.
Sounds like my neighbour's trying to hammer through to my house. He always picks like round houses, start rearranging furniture right there in that corner, man. And I'm just like, it's his layout is like a mirror to mine. And there's nothing there. So what's going on? He's not got like a secret door or anything.
I'm going to show people the picture I had ready for you in case you couldn't join us.
Go on, I want to see. Let me get it up on a preview.
There we go.
Oh yeah, because I was literally texting you like 27 minutes past going, I don't know.
Don't know if I can make it.
That's
all right, though, isn't it?
I'll accept that. Yeah.
Slimming.
Still got my handle there below it. Thanks for that.
Yeah,
I would have appreciated that.
I would never let you down.
Alex just pointed out that I've got headphones on. He can hear me. He can, but he doesn't really speak too much English. I won't worry about it. He's a good guy. He's one of them, man. There's a darkness to him that I really enjoy. You kind of get that vibe. Like, has he killed someone? he'd never admit to it, but he's kind of got that vibe about him, like in a war zone or something.
You're saying there's a darkness you like, right up until he says, "Please come in the flat," and you walk in, there's plastic down.
His little boy comes in here all the time, you know. He's so funny. He's my little warrior. He's great. He's dead lovely with me. And then Dad comes in to get him, and he goes like that. And I'm like, fucking hell. Yeah, you'll be a good mate for my daughter when she gets a bit older. You'll be defending the crap out of her. Or, well, it could go the other way. We'll have to be careful with that one. But he's going to be a little warrior, I tell you that.
Warrior.
He is.
So
I think
we're out of the EU now. How much longer are we going to have to listen to the Taoiseach of Ireland talking about the UK? Leon Varadadadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadakadak And I'm wondering, before Brexit, did anyone give a fuck what he thought about anything? All of a sudden he's important in Europe because he's a neighbour and he can be influential on Northern Ireland. Pre-Brexit, no one gave a fuck. I predict that once the negotiation phase is finally over at some point, no one will give a fuck again. Because I must admit, it does occur to me when the Prime Minister or whatever the fuck they call them of Ireland does speak up and go, now let me tell you what you should do in the UK. It's like, who gives a fuck what you think? I don't tell Ireland what to do. Go fuck yourself.
Well,
Ireland.
we have done it.
Yeah, but I mean, we have done. We've got a history of it. But right now, these days, we don't. And it's, you know what? Go, just don't tell us what to do. It's finished. Just fuck off. I never knew who he was before Brexit. I'm happy to go back to that state of affairs. It'd be like, you know, whatever, the Prime Minister or President of fucking Belgium speaking up, or Luxembourg or some shit like that. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. I tell you this as well, with that, like, Happy Dog there saying about them trying to rebuild their economy with lowering the taxes. They have become a bit of a corporate tax haven. There's them and is it the Netherlands?
Yeah, the EU will put a stop to that, don't you
Been
worry.
quite good. They are stopping that at the moment. Yeah, Ireland would do well to get out and come with us. We've already got our little mini Shenzhen
Ireland
zone,
hooked
haven't we?
through the bag. It's too late. It's way too late for Ireland.
It's never too late, man.
The
They can
EU
get
went
out.
in, gave them new roads, told them everything would be great, forced them to vote after they voted incorrectly. They're fucked now.
I know, but you know what?
Happy Dog's made a good point there. Make Ireland join the UK. What could possibly go wrong?
It's always worked out in the past, hasn't it?
They didn't
In
do
fact,
too
it's-
bad apart from the potato thing.
It's when we broke our resolve that there was problems. It's when we showed weakness. That's when it all started going wrong in Ireland. Let's bring them under the fold again, eh? Be all right.
Yeah, Manchester could do with being remodelled again anyway, couldn't it? I suppose. now that we got it all fixed.
Let's get them around the Trafford area. There's a few bits they could go for.
Now that we got it all fixed, once you get on the Euro, you're stuck. Correct. Ireland are a tiny wee nation, and it's a lovely country, and all that palaver, but they're owned. The EU own Ireland, plain and simple. It's like Scotland now going, don't you worry once we leave the UK, which I don't know how you're going to manage that for a while, because Boris has just said no. It's not like you can go, well, we're going to.
Yeah. And Scotland, well, and a lot of people in the rest of the UK forget that Scotland isn't actually a country. It's not a sovereign nation.
Well, the reason they're pushing so hard right now, though, obviously, you know why she's going in extra hard now? Because if Brexit doesn't turn out to be the disaster for Scotland they've been promising, that independence vote may not go their way again, because everyone, again, looks at the internet and goes, yeah, I know how this fucking thing's going to happen.
They need to get it now whilst people are sad. But there's that thing: more people in Scotland voted to leave than they did for the SNP. You know, there's a big chunk of people there who do want to get out, and it's not just that as well. Like there's with rejoining Europe. I mean, obviously, I'm sure they'd be a little bit flexible in order to humiliate us, but there are several rules there in terms of giving up quite a lot of political power and the currency, and there's
even more so if you're a tiny little country.
Yeah,
with very little influence.
Like that's why the rejoin movement here isn't going to go very well, because even people who were Remainers, there will have been a lot who were close, and they wouldn't necessarily be rejoiners once you put out the terms there. You're like, right, well, we lose the pound, we lose and it's not just losing the pound. It's not like Britain. You know, losing the pound means losing the ability to set our own interest rates, and it means getting into their federal system of taxation, where they're telling different countries what they are and aren't allowed to do.
You have like
We ain't going to
like
join
Guy
up with that.
Verhofstadt out there, all their key mouthpieces saying we need to give up more sovereignty. We have to, for the future of the project. The idea, I mean, I get the idea of wanting independence, and I've always been supportive of it. If the country wants that,
respect it.
you've got to have it. However, to say we want our independence to give up our independence is terrifying. But again, I fully support their right to do it. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of opportunism going on here because Tories are in power. Tories are historically really not great for Scotland or anywhere in the north. And Brexit has just happened. Now, they need it to go badly, and it's not looking like it'll go anywhere near as badly as the doomsayers. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's going to be the land of milk and honey either. But I think if they don't get that referendum this year, within the next 12 months, I think they're going to struggle getting it at all.
The Conservatives, though, they are very much so the biggest party for keeping the union together, though, aren't they?
And Boris can just say no.
Yeah, well, he has done.
This thing, Nicola Sturgeon says he can't, but the fact is he can.
They had a vote anyway, didn't they? And this, oh God, can you imagine living in Scotland at the moment? Those wet bitches are still. They actually had a vote. Like, I get it, right? If a private citizen wants to carry on flying the EU flag, whatever, mate, do it. If that's your beliefs, that's fine. But the MSPs, the Ministers for Scottish Parliament, actually had a vote that passed to said we're going to carry on flying the flag. Fuck off, you wet bastards. Have some self-respect.
Not terribly independent, is it?
No.
And it's when I've spoke to Scottish people who are pro-independence, it's fine, they want to be part of Europe again. And like, do you really think you'd be pulling up a chair at the top table in a year or something? Do you know the tests you've got to undergo? And then you come in, and for all you talk about your industry and your wealth and your power, a lot of it's foreign owned. And you're not going to get a chair at the top table just because you used to be part of the UK. I'm sure you'll be paraded as such initially, at least to just rub England's nose in it a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're looking at a good 10 years there, at least, whilst everything else is going in. Dude, did you see?
Whilst they get you nicely in debt.
Do you know the European army that's apparently not happening? Well, it's got massive support across Europe. Like France was like 60 something, Germany was 75% support.
Amazing, isn't it, that Germany would have support for a united European army, preferably under their control? I don't get it. It's
it gets
just
up to
against
the 80s
history.
and 90s. Over Eastern Europe, but they're right next to Russia, aren't they? So they're like, yeah, fucking park your British tanks over here. I don't mind, and I get that, and I respect that perspective. The support in the UK is 2%. I can't imagine it's going to be a lot higher in Scotland. As a specific place.
Imagine Brussels deciding you had to go to war.
I know. And
instead of America, which is what
done behind
happened.
closed doors, and them all fucking stood there singing along to "Ode to Joy," whilst you know the leader whose only one name was on that. I mean, we can take the piss out of what's going on in America, but at least there's a choice. I say that like that, but there's the illusion of choice at least. Yeah. Dude, can you imagine if this bullshit with Sanders? Because Sanders is pulling at the moment. Can you imagine if he becomes the actual candidate?
That'd be fucking awesome.
Because there might be some miracle and he gets in. I would personally be almost as happy with Sanders getting in as I would with 4 more years of Trump, because the idea of America.
I'd be over the moon with that. That'd be hilarious.
The thought of watching them trying to socialize the healthcare would just be too much fun. It would be so funny. I'd really enjoy it. They'd go from having like one of the strongest economies they've ever had to it just going, whoo. But it'd only start tanking as he's leaving, because that's what happens, isn't it? You give away all the freebies. Free college.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, for me, from my personal point of view, is I really enjoyed the leftist tears. I'm not going to say liberal tears, but the tears from the left. It's been hugely enjoyable. I would equally enjoy tears from the right. The idea of Bernie Sanders. It's just the thought. The guy that they've decided is actually a communist, who is really, really not a communist. I in no way endorse Bernie Sanders. It's got fuck all to do with me. But the tears. If Trump, I mean, I don't see a time Trump would lose to Bernie Sanders. However, if Trump did lose to Bernie Sanders, oh, that would be so fucking funny.
Yeah, just as a hypothetical, I think it's very, very unlikely. I think Bernie's got a lot of very strong support, but that's because they're uneducated people. Why are people saying that Doug Stanhope's dead?
No, I've got to check that now.
I need to know that.
Of course he's not dead.
Why would you all be saying that?
No, he's not dead. He's just endorsed Andrew Yang.
I saw that. Bless him. You know what? It's hard to dislike Andrew Yang, though. I do. I don't believe in his UBI, but I believe I like his attitude and I like his approach. I really, genuinely do.
Robert Morgan says Bernie is a communist.
He is, of course, he is.
Yeah.
He is. I will say he is.
I'm gonna say what an American would call a communist. I don't think there's a real Stalin streak there. I don't think he'd be any good at it. I don't think it would work in America, thankfully.
No, but he's, if you look at this fucking leaked footage of several of his staff.
Several of his staff are fucking decent. I think there's a strong socialist streak in him, which is not a million miles away.
No, I mean, the difference.
I think communist is very strong, because communist, to me, a communist leader is Mao, Stalin. And for all Bernie's faults, I don't see him introducing death camps for educated people, Well, so
that's exactly what his staff want, though.
Yeah,
they've been quoted saying
what
that,
his
haven't
staff want, and whatever fucking happens. I mean, like I say, I don't endorse Bernie fucking Sanders.
No.
All I know is the tears from the right would be delicious.
He's a bitch. He just crumbles instantly. I think maybe 20 years ago he would have stood up to those mad fuckers, but he doesn't now. Did you see that rally he did where people, in fact, it's happened to him a couple of times now, they come up and start screaming and he just lets them have his mic? And it's like, mate, if you can't stand up to some, hysterical activist that demands to walk on stage whilst you're there, whilst the entire audience is booing, saying, we came here to hear Bernie, not her.
He reminds me of Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah, he's like Corbyn, yeah.
He's letting these communists run riot like Corbyn did, with the socialist worker people. We got the anti-Semitism problems in Labour. Well, I don't want to lose voters, so we'll just ignore the motherfuckers because there's so many of them. And Bernie strikes me very, very similarly.
He is similar. And for some people, that's a good thing.
It is. For me, it's revolting.
Corbyn would be there going, oh, yeah, I've just been on the phone to AOC. And to some people, that's a good thing because they don't realise what a corrupt fool she is.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, she's actually stupid.
Yes.
Actually, she's genuinely been propped up. She's an idiot. She doesn't understand the world around her. She doesn't understand politics and the political system. Some of the shit she comes out with is just insane.
Reasonably nice ass, though. Quite a nice ass, though.
Oh, phenomenally fuckable. Don't get me wrong in that respect. And
got to take it there, haven't we? We've got to take it.
Yeah, I would though. I would
say what you want about AOC. Nice ass.
And I would get down there and eat my dinner off that arse, Hayden. And I mean, I'm talking about something soggy that got right in the cracks. I'd get it all.
Beans,
lasagna, good lasagna. Oh, there'd be a lot of oil, wouldn't there, to lick out, about like licking your plate.
A stew.
Yeah? Oh, there'd be no need for any washing up liquid at the end. I'd be all over it.
It's all
I'd sort it out.
Anyone that can say Bernie's awful, Trump's great is a fucking idiot. Trump's, I don't believe anyone that tries to align themselves perfectly to a political party troubles me greatly. But so many people seem to do it now. If Trump did something good, no one accepts it. If Bernie had a good idea, no one would accept it. Because they're not from the right party, they don't align with me. You're a right-wing arsehole, you're a leftist. You just can't win now. Apart from us, the sensible people, the centrists.
Trump's highest job approval, since
Yeah,
he
was
got
it?
in.
Is it 46% or
No, well,
49%?
49. Yeah. He's right up there. He's doing really
Isn't
well.
that higher than Obama's one was at that point?
Well, I think Obama's average was higher overall, but then if you consider the media stuff,
No,
but,
this time in his
I'm not sure if it's
term.
like for this time, but for Trump though, that's really really good.
Train Bomb said define centrist.
I really struggle to define centrist.
I don't. Right.
Just correct.
Right here. Correct.
I think the thing is centrist covers maybe what 70% of people.
Of course it does. In reality,
it's a phenomenally broad church of people who aren't sort of political extremists.
What a centrist gets to do is laugh at all the rest of you. But in truth, no one's really, and like I said earlier, anyone that can put themselves into that one little box is lying to themselves and everybody else. Everyone's honest. Much like autism, politics is a spectrum. Except autism has far less in the way of learning difficulties. And it's not fucking evil. So really not a good comparison. I apologise to any autistic people watching, but there is a spectrum in politics, and we rarely find ourselves at exactly one place.
Yeah,
if you do, like I say, you're lying or you're a fool.
I don't think it's unpolitical because there's disaffected people and there's all sorts.
Also, unpolitical is a very dangerous term to describe a centrist. Does political mean necessarily that you're polarized? Is that what political means? You're polarized? Why can't you believe in bits from both sides? Yeah, I'm not sure about how can you call centrists unpolitical? That doesn't make sense. Everything's politics. Every aspect of your life is politics to some degree. Tracy R says centrist is a fence-sitter, therefore completely not understanding the point of a centrist.
No, it's not at all, man.
Because a centrist isn't sat there going, well, they're both very good. No.
We don't sit on the fence here, do we? I don't understand how that's even.
Here's what a
feasible.
centrist can do. I can point at Trump and say, that was a good idea. That was fucking stupid. Those are lies. And I can look over at Bernie and go, you're fucking rubbing up against the socialists. Stupid fucking move, because it'll only get you Twitter votes. Or AOC, you're a fucking idiot. I can do that and not feel like I'm betraying my side. That's what a centrist is. It gives you the ability to praise or criticise regardless of political position. It's not sitting on the fence. It's just not being stupid.
Not Greg's though, Aidan. There'll be no bad mouthing Greg's here.
No.
I'm a Greg's extremist.
Although I'm not keen on all this vegan shit they're doing at the moment. I don't approve.
I don't really care. I don't buy it the same way I don't buy the cheese and onion one because I think that's disgusting as well.
I like a cheese and onion pie.
Oh no!
But I like Holland's cheese and onion pies. I do quite like those. Robert Morgan says centrists mushy middle. Yeah, that's how I come across. Only a myopic buffoon, and you're not a buffoon. You might be myopic, I don't know. Would believe that, yes, only the people with the purity of vision to stick on one side or another are in any way intelligent. Fucking, that's proper spacker talk, that is. Jesus Christ almighty. Only the people told what to think by their chosen political overlords and news stations are illuminated and wise. Centrists, they can't make their minds up.
I mean, I get it. That's not to say that all conservatives and all Labour people
yes, it is.
Are definitely like thinking
100%.
There's plenty of people over there that are reasonable and they're taking, they want to achieve certain things and they themselves don't agree with every single.
No, Graham, stop it.
Okay.
No, we're on the internet. Nuanced thought.
You fucking freaks!
There we go. That's better.
You go. You Tory wankers and you socialists.
Again, Achilles Weir says centrists have the ability to be two-faced. Not quite as two-faced as people that stick to one side or another, because that's a lie. I think centrism is really odd. Is that people are so determined to be polarised, they attack anyone that goes, I think both sides might be fucked. Because there are some conservative ideals I enjoy. There are many liberal ideals I enjoy that some of you probably think are conservative ideals, like freedom of speech. The right for you to have a gun in America. It's a liberal ideal. Liberal, not leftist. I think too much has gotten lost. We should be talking about Greg's. Greg's sausage roll is a wonderful thing.
I think the gun thing is an interesting one in that, like, yeah, you'll find people who are. I think a good way to put it is, if you are very much with a certain party, you're more likely to just be difficult to talk to about things like that. You know, like gun control or gun rights, depending on which way you're going to party. And you'll find that if someone's aligned with a party, you're not going to be able to have a conversation with them about it. It's
well,
same
look,
with abortion.
We've done it loads of times. If
You know,
I say there's a problem with guns in the States, you know, it's not necessarily the guns themselves. There is a problem per capita. There's a massive issue. However, it is their right to own them. And my point's always been, as long as it is your right, you should own them. Until you decide you don't want that right anymore.
Yeah.
And I would never advocate one way or another. But I'm instantly called, you know, you want to take our guns away. Why would I want to do that? It's got nothing to do with it. If you think what's happening is the acceptable price for that freedom, then that is the price you pay for that freedom, and so be it.
Well, you've got to look at it in America as well, because, you know, for generations people brought guns in schools. They had lessons.
It's the
on
culture. It's part of their culture. Just because we don't understand it, but the same has to be applied to these Americans, though. Oh, you Brits are pussies. You don't have guns. What? No, we have a different culture. We did that for hundreds of years. Then around the 1700s, 1800s, I think private citizens started to give up the guns. And there were several movements. Now, you're saying you've traded your freedom, you know, your guns, because in your culture you associate your freedom with this mythical idea that you could stand up to your government, which is fine. It's your business. Again, I don't advocate your guns being taken off you. We're better in this country with our culture without guns. It is better. We can't be trusted with fucking spoons, as I've said before, and I mean it. Fucking our island is full of fucking assholes. But everyone projects, and I see British people telling Americans they're fucking stupid for having guns, completely ignoring the fact they have a whole culture that isn't the same as ours. And yet the people that would attack Americans for that culture are the people that would tell me about cultural appropriation given half the chance. And you should respect other cultures. So Americans are as bad at projecting onto Brits as Brits are on them. I've been to America, as we've spoken before, fired guns, hugely enjoyable. Enjoyed myself immensely, still don't want to do it here. But that doesn't mean I don't think anyone else should be allowed to, and if the public changed their mind on it, then there should be guns there as well.
I think Achilles just said where there's less guns, there's more crimes, and that is true. It's very, very true.
In the USA.
Yeah, and there's a big issue there in terms of, you know, where there is the Democrats and the gun control and the rhetoric being put into action are the worst places.
Oh, it can't work. It can't work in America. I've said this all along.
Hold up though.
You can't take guns away from people in the States.
The gun thing is true here in the UK as well, though. Where there's less guns, there's more crime. It's true in the UK.
Well, no, because no, that's not true. That's you.
Of course it is.
How do you draw that parallel?
Well, there's loads of guns in the Lake District, and it's the lowest crime rate in the country. It's not necessarily
the
saying
shittest thing you've ever said on this fucking
It's
show.
not. It's not.
How many people live in the Lake District?
Yeah, I'm talking per capita, the crime rate. It's the safest place in the country.
Yeah, of course it is, but
and yet there's more guns. Of course
there's more farmers with shotguns. Yes.
Yeah, but that's still
it's a massively
guns.
rural area, and I think you'll find in America.
Yes.
In America, you would find.
You're projecting now, Aidan.
No, I'm not projecting because
yes, you are.
You've made a stat.
Very simple then.
You've come up with a stat and you've simplified it to the point of stupidity.
Yeah, because you jumped in straight away saying in the USA, but the same still applies to the UK. It's a complicated thing, but we still have
you can't come up with those stats based on any reliability apart from where there are more farmers, there is less congestion of people, there is less crime in general, not because of guns, just because of the societal differences. You know that to be true.
I'm not. I
So,
didn't say that wasn't the case.
no, but
I
I
didn't
believe,
say
and
that
my
wasn't
point
the
in
case.
America, if you hadn't jumped in with that fucking idiocy,
Mm.
that quite frankly, Booth, was
No,
beneath
you're
even
just
you.
lying though. You just
No,
straight away. You went
shh.
in the USA
Yes,
as if it was
because in the
different here.
States, just be quiet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to teach you here. Don't
No, no, no,
don't
no,
be
no.
willfully ignorant. If you look at Chicago, okay,
Yes.
a part of the nation that is notorious for gun activity over the years, in a country that has a gun culture, if you take away guns, who are you taking them off?
What do you mean? I don't know, Aiden. I don't
The
know.
law-abiding people.
Right. Okay.
There is a massive amount of firearms in the States. Who's left with all the firearms?
Mm.
Okay, that's the difference. In the UK, our guns have fallen out of society. We always focus on after Hungerford with assault weapons and was it Dunblane? Or was that the plane crash? Thomas Hamilton, anyway, taking away handguns. By the way, not laws I agree with. However, it's very hard to draw that parallel. Obviously, I was being very facetious in saying it was the most stupid thing you said on this show.
It was
the
perfectly
third.
factual accurate. You just wanted to project your own nonsense
No,
onto
but
it.
how am I wrong? That if you take guns away in Chicago, obviously, you're going to have a criminal element that's massively weaponized from a
You still have
culture
that here.
that's
That's
used
what
to
happened in
guns.
the UK.
But
It's
when?
not to the same extent, but that's what happened here.
But not even close, because the availability and culture were different. Now we've got a problem with stabby people.
Yeah.
Massive problem with stabby people. If we had guns, they'd be shooting them instead.
Well, yeah, but we do get shootings, and we still get
don't
murders and everything.
We get
But we
very
get
few
exactly the
shootings.
same
Also,
things, you know.
we also
in-
do get less murders per capita in general than the United States of America. From rural to city, we just do. There's a cultural difference. However, we have higher rates of muggings and things like that, because often they'd escalate to some fucker dying in an armed populace. So oversimplifying it in any way doesn't work. And my point was, if you take somewhere like Chicago, which I can show you right now,
Yeah,
from a
I wasn't
heavily armed
saying that.
place,
You
you
just
take it away.
said in the USA as if it was the only USA.
Yeah, and before I could finish,
and I was just pointing out that
you
the same
jumped
thing
in with a
applies
bullshit
here.
stat which ignores every other societal impact, whereas mine was based on
No, it
society and
doesn't.
culture.
I was saying it was nuanced. I agree with you on that. I didn't
If you
say
took away,
anything
all right,
about that.
if you took away
But
guns in the Lake District, let's test your theory.
that statement
I
that
love it
was
when you get
said
like this. I
there
enjoy it.
applies to the UK and the USA. That's all I
If we
said.
took the guns away from the farmers in the Lake District,
Yeah.
what would happen?
Not a lot. They'd just be a lot more vulnerable.
If you took farmers' shotguns away, they just couldn't shoot foxes and animals, because I believe if you look through the incident records now, the cases of farmers using a shotgun to defend themselves from criminals are probably very, very small.
Yeah, I get this.
Especially because in this country, if they shot them, they go to prison for
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
longer than the criminals.
Yeah, you're saying that, but like, yeah, that's obvious, and I'm aware of that.
Yeah, so I think there's a massive
similar in
difference
America.
when you have a culture that is used to firearms, where the criminal element are used to an armed population and therefore more willing to use firearms in the commission of a crime. It would be totally insensible to be in an area of the States where people are known to have firearms, and if you're burgling houses, not to be armed. So there's always an escalation. It's like a lot of Americans don't understand about our police, although more and more of them are becoming armed. A lot of our police officers don't want to be armed, only because they believe it would lead to an escalation.
Yeah.
It's that simple. They don't want to be armed. They don't want it to escalate. So we have all these massive cultural things that many sides of us ignore. And when people say, well, a British person says they should just ban guns in America, it's like, how much do you fucking hate American people? It's like saying we should ban electricity in Britain. It would be chaos. It'd be fucking chaos and lead to deaths. If you banned guns in America tomorrow, it would be fucking insane.
Yeah, I mean, physically impossible. Look what's just happened in Virginia with them fucking loads of counties are already saying they're going to go and join West Virginia,
See,
aren't they?
Robert Morgan again. Crime goes down when population is armed. Yes, certain types of crime go down, but what goes up massively in most densely populated areas is death by firearms, either by a murder, manslaughter, or suicide. Suicide rates are actually higher where there's more availability of guns per capita. That is just an uncomfortable fact.
Yeah, and I think one of the issues with gun deaths in America is the suicide stats are almost always rolled into that overall number. So when you say 30,000 a year or whatever, but then when you break it down, and the vast majority of them are suicides, which are
But when you
bad,
break it down, it's still fucking insane.
it
But of
is
course, you're
bad.
going to get
It
more
is bad.
suicides where there are guns because guns offer. There's less work involved. There's less time to change your mind. You just pick that fucker up and have a little cry, and away you go.
It's more likely to go as well, isn't it? You're not going to snap the lampshade as you try and hang yourself or whatever. But ultimately, you're not. Somebody killing themselves, however they do it, isn't necessarily. It's not a worry when you're walking the street, is it? It's not a crime.
Robert's missed the
crime
point.
statistic.
No, of course it's not a crime statistic.
So
it was just one I included on the side.
No,
Suicides
it's
are
important,
self-crime.
yeah.
No, Robert, that wasn't my point. The US per capita has a far higher homicide rate than the UK. Far higher. Higher rape statistics. The only thing we beat you in is petty crime, burglary, property theft, which I do believe an armed populace deters people from. And if you're comfortable having less property theft but higher incidents, I mean, I know you're not comfortable, okay? I'm not. But there's a price for everything, isn't there? There's a price for everything, and an armed population does lead to these problems. But not just, it's not only an armed population, because there are other countries with dense gun ownership that have the same thing. There's the whole cultural thing. There's a societal thing going on. So it's, when people say you're just trying to take our guns, you can't take the guns out. Even if I could click my fingers and take away guns, all I'd be doing is killing innocent fucking Americans. Like that. I'd be killing thousands upon thousands of innocent Americans, because it's just the way the culture is. Do I think there should be more common sense? Like, I don't see the harm in background checks, but that's not my problem.
Yeah. Well, they already exist, don't they? It's not like a thing with.
No, sometimes they are a little. In some states, they're looser than others, shall we say? Less complex than others. But that's the price you pay. It's like the price we pay for having cars in society is that people get killed as a result of them being used and abused. There are prices for everything that we have. There's a price to pay, usually in terms of mortality. Is whether it's acceptable to society as a whole, to some degree. That's why we have them. There we go.
There's a thing there about a strangle wank. I haven't done it. No, I'm not. I can see that though. I can see why I'd give that vibe. Thanks, Mark.
See, Achilles Weir has just said, for some reason, I bet petty thefts go down when people own guns and criminals get shot. Yes, I did say that. But what goes up are, for some reason, I mean, a lot of this isn't guns. It's, like I said, cultural, societal, rape, murder, things of that nature. Crimes that I find a little more unpleasant than petty theft. For example, I like to think I wouldn't shoot someone for stealing my car stereo. Although, on the whole, I probably would. But I'd rather see more petty theft and less homicide. That's just me. Now, this is the interesting thing. Our society is changing. Violent crime, people's attitudes to it changing, and we're not going in a great place either. We're not going in a great direction. We seem to, whatever the madness is in the States, we're determined that we want a piece of that. We've always been arseholes, but now this stabby business, and something's influencing the culture, and I don't think it's heavy metal and Satan.
We've got a huge issue here at the moment, man, and it's getting up. Like, the amount of areas that you can't walk through, which have always been a thing in every city. There's always been the dodgy bits and all the rest of it. And like you said with burglaries, they just I've seen around here just openly checking houses out, and you phone the police.
Well, a lot of this now, we've got an underfunded police force.
If we are going to balance a supposedly safer society by not having weapons, then we need to have a society where there's fucking police everywhere.
And of course, now we're at this position where people say things are so bad we should have weapons. It's absolutely the worst time to introduce weapons, because you'd have to go through a particularly lawless period. What we need is police funding to be improved. This won't stop anything. I know the police are there in minutes when you need them in seconds, all those things. But in the UK, we managed to get through without fatal home invasions for many, many years. Amazingly enough. The police force is dramatically underfunded and crippled with political correctness at the moment. No two ways around that. The judiciary, the justice system in the UK is on its fucking knees.
Yeah, it's a big issue at the moment.
Its knees. They're trying to kill legal aid. All these things are fucking. This is what we need to address.
And that fucker that just did the stabbing, he was let out early as well, wasn't he? On terrorist charges.
Do you know why they got to him so fast? They were following him.
They were already following him. Yeah. Like why let someone out if you then gonna have to pay to follow?
What's that big conspiracy? Who was that guy that had his face covered in the police cap thing that was there with him? What was this shady? So was it the SAS? No, it was just that was the copper that was following him.
Yeah. I've seen a guy, and I'm not going to say who it is, but I saw him tweeting earlier today, and I've got it up here actually about that, saying that the whole thing about him being a terrorist who was released early stinks of the Tories, and I quote, trying to crack down even harder on brown people. But it's like, mate, this is how the rape gangs happened, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Because this man was a terrorist who was convicted for being a terrorist who wanted to kill people, who was released early. That's not like rhetoric.
No, it's exactly that thinking that leads us to Rotherham and Rochdale and Oldham and Manchester.
It is. It's exactly like, but wait, let's just check the colour of this person's skin before we decide how to respond. It's like, no. He was a convicted terrorist that was let out early. But for some reason at the moment, woke people are looking at it and just seeing him brown. It doesn't matter that he killed people. It doesn't matter. He's trying to kill. He's like a fucking actual full-on terrorist. They're like, this person's brown, therefore I'm gonna do loops so that he's the victim.
Yeah, it's very disturbing. It's very disturbing, and the fact that people aren't more enraged by the grooming gangs because they're Pakistani or Asian. It's like that's not a reason not to be screaming. Well, what if it affects everyone else? Well, we have to deal with that, don't we? But we can't, in the interests of not upsetting people, we can't overlook child rape and fucking murder. We can't do that.
No.
And then they turn around and call me a racist.
Well, you know what? This dude, he might be upset. But if he's going to describe it as it leads to more unwell people murdering, unwell. It's like, mate, fucking hell. Just can you just get on a plane to Iraq or something and go and see the fucking world? Can you go and just see a little tiny bit of reality, please? I assume he was unwell.
Achilles Weir said, "Shoot that damn terrorist." They did.
Yeah, they did, and they do.
Over here, terror attacks, I've got to be honest, overall, they tend not to be... I mean, they're fucking tragedies. These should never happen. Innocent people die, but in very small numbers. They very rarely get to kill a lot of people. We had the Manchester Arena bomber, who certainly did. The 7/7 terrorists, but overall, they don't tend to get the big numbers.
I think before the Manchester bombing, there was a lot of talk around shooting and whether or not it was okay, because there was that guy in London at the train station who got shot.
Charles
it was a bad kill. It turned out he was innocent and all the rest of it. But then, I think since Manchester bombing, it's been a very quick shoot to kill policy, hasn't it? And
That's how it should be. It's how it should be.
It frustrates me though, because there's this whole thing of wearing fake suicide vests at the moment. They want to die.
Well, that's
The
fine.
thing.
We'll give them that wish. Give in to them. Give them
Um,
a present. Because I saw people when that London Bridge one, or Tower Bridge, was it? No, it was London Bridge, wasn't it? I think we sold, did we not? Which was the bridge we sold to America?
I don't know.
We sold one of them. I think it's in Arizona. Anyway, it was on the bridge. I think it was London Bridge. And people were saying, oh, they didn't have to shoot him. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did, because he could have been exploded. What do you do with people with suicide triggers? Tell them not to. No, you shoot them twice in the fucking head.
It's the same thing with this woke nonsense. Well, you didn't have to shoot him. He was obviously a very unwell man.
Yeah, well, they made him better.
Who needed to be rehabilitated. And it's like, yeah, you know what? He was a guest at a fucking conference full of woke nut jobs talking about exactly that. Rehabilitating people, whilst we have literally got rape being used as a tool of war in our country right now, being used to humiliate communities into creating more racial tension, more issues, more violence, because they know that woke people are going to bend over backwards to defend them at every point. It's all about creating unrest. It's all about me not liking my neighbor. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to fall into that trap, but I'm also not going to avoid talking about the reality.
Of course not. Why would you? Why would you?
I don't give a fuck about my neighbors, and I still like them. I still know them. I still do. They're all Muslim, pretty much apart from the Jews at the top that everyone hates, apart from me. I'm always like, I always want to say, I don't hate you, not like these, but how do you say it? Because you'd come across as weird then, wouldn't you? Going like, just out of nowhere, like
I fucking love Jews, me.
I don't mind that you're a Jew. It'd just be weird. There's no good way to say it.
I guess the easiest way of demonstrating that is just doing what you do anyway, which is just be cool with people.
Just be all right. Yeah, no, I am. I'm all right.
You're this strange dilemma you've got about how to tell them that's you casting off the last of your wokeness.
Yeah, but no. It's not. It's well, I mean, there's a thing there. There's probably a little bit of truth in that, but the issue is that they're just so obviously hated. That's the thing. It's like, when I see so much hate around, because there's a lot of Muslims that are lovely people, but just fucking hate Jews.
Of course, because it's indoctrinated.
Yeah, it is. There's kids shows about the evil Jews and all that, and I kind of want to.
I love that show.
I just want to let them know that that I might laugh at that show if I watched it on YouTube. I might see the humor in it. I might joke about it now with you, but I don't actually hate you. I just want to let them know they're safe. If shit went down, I'd jump in.
I've got your back.
Jump on.
I've got your back. No, it's just that there's too much hate everywhere. I mean, and I get told, like Richie, when he says there's no anti-Semitism, I know at that Jewish school just not far from our studio, there was the Pakistani or Asian, whatever, Muslim taxi driver arrested for screaming anti-Semitic abuse at kids, school kids.
I think
it's rampant everywhere. You get bigoted Jews that look down on other races, but to say that Muslims, no, it doesn't really happen. Oh, it fucking does.
I think that he's got a point in that it's not necessarily systemic, because thank God Labour didn't get in and make it systemic and make it legal. And he's saying there's a knobheads. I think where I differ with Richie's perspective, and I do agree with him about this, and it's the same with a lot of things like Islamophobia and homophobia and all that. Yes, it's not built into the system. It's not legal.
No, that's true.
It's individuals, and I do agree with him on that.
But it happens a lot.
Yeah, I think it's way more common than he does.
And also, I still believe for all the people that say the thing like, you look at the people you can't talk about. I think anti-Semitism is one of the few remaining acceptable faces of bigotry that is practiced. I genuinely believe that. It seems to be the one you can get away with a lot more. It doesn't help when you get all those kind of really reactive Jewish folks online that see everything as anti-Semitism for some fucking strange and bizarre reason. But as if that's any different, we focus on them, but we don't often point at the Muslim guys going, if you draw his God, he will kill you.
Yeah. And they will.
And there's a big difference. I'm more concerned about that than getting a telling off from the guy from the Jewish Telegraph. Not concerned to the point I still don't say shit that'll get me fucking murdered, but it's not the point. We focus on what we all pick a pet subject, don't we? Some people just fucking hate Jews. Some people just fucking hate Muslims. everyone at the moment hates fucking white men of a certain age, a certain vintage. You know, it's just that we hate and we give everyone a fucking pass. And it drives me fucking insane.
Someone put up a load of like "It's okay to be white" posters in I can't remember the city, Exeter or something. I can't remember where now. And there's been a big like panic over it about like white supremacist literature, and it's like it's literally just the "okay to be white" posters. It's not exactly fucking.
It's just some spotty prick that goes on 4chan, for fuck's sake.
It's again.
But also,
though,
what is wrong with that phrase? If you really boil it down, I mean, I know what that phrase is. It's a troll. Okay,
it's a
we
troll,
know
that's
that.
the point, isn't it?
But the truth is, in a court of law, I would love to see how they explain that is a hateful thing, because it doesn't say being white is best or being black is awful. It just says it's all right to be white, and it is. It's not bad. I've gotten quite used to it. It's not bad. Got my privilege. I take it out for a walk every day.
Spots are a bit obvious though, eh? If I was a bit darker, it might blend in a bit better. Black don't crackers. What's his name? What's that fella? He's on GMB now. He used to be a kids presenter. He used to be one of the only black fellas on telly. What's his name?
Derek Griffiths.
No.
He was black though. Still is.
Still is. Black presenter.
Oh, Ainsley Harriott.
No.
Spicy.
Sean Fletcher? No.
Andy Peters.
No. Andy Peters, that's the
famously accused of paedophilia on a live league show, not by me, by a viewer. We were talking about, you couldn't talk about this list of paedophiles. Someone just jumped straight and went, Andy Peters. Oh,
really? I didn't know he had been accused. That's a bit shitty.
It was only by someone on Live League, dude. I don't think there's anything behind it that I know of.
No, well, I'm not going to boycott or anything like that. I'm saying it's a shitty thing to say.
I've heard about you. Where? Live League 6 years ago.
Tweeting at GMB every morning.
When?
Oh, sidewalk closed. Hiya, by the way, mate. I hope you're all right. But he's asked about.
No, we don't have super chats. It's all gone.
No,
YouTube are never going to give us that back.
No, we've just been spinning on the. It's been a month now, hasn't it, since the thing just automatically said your reapplication is under review as of the 10th.
Yeah. And your warning is permanent. Not a warning, really, that is it?
No. The warning that we were counting down to, it was Christmas Eve that it was gone, and then it's just there forever.
They've made it permanent.
And when you click on it, it says, "Oh yeah, no, it doesn't affect your channel, but it's called an active community strike." So fuck you, man.
It doesn't affect your channel, but when you get another,
bastards.
Oh, they don't want us. They don't even little old us.
I know. So yeah, if anyone does, we can't do super chats, but we can do, as you can see in the support us section of the, what's it called? The description. Jesus Christ. There's Streamlabs there, there's merch, there's Patreon, there's
It's getting late, isn't it, Graham?
I know it is getting late. I've had a fucking mental I had that funeral at the weekend and it all got a bit weird and a bit intense. It's nice to see me grandma though.
Oh, there we go.
It's all right. She's tiny now. She's getting smaller. When you get to that age.
Oh, it's like my mum Junior's only a head smaller than my mum.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird. It's good though. It's good. A lot of drunken messiness. I'm still feeling it today.
I've had quite a different week, but a week all the same. And you know one of the two things I've been dealing with. So
yeah, I can't talk about that, can we?
No, I don't think it would benefit. Maybe a little down the line.
Before we boogie though, man, should we just recap quickly what's been bought so far with the GoFundMe for the studio?
Yeah, with the funds so far, we've bought a Canon C100 Mark II camera, a Canon, what was it? 18-135 lens. We didn't want to go heavy on the lens till we're used to the camera.
No.
So we'll keep those funds aside when we'll look at what lens we want after that.
And the important thing with the camera is it can stream for hours without melting, because that was a big concern, wasn't it?
Because we were looking, to be honest, we knew we couldn't go to the high-end camcorders we used to have. Thank you very much, Q-Man. May your God bless you. Or like thereof. So yeah, we knew we couldn't go to the high-end camcorders, and we knew we still had to work with this stuff to try and get money in. So we spoke about DSLR for a while, but there's some of the modern mirrorless ones won't melt, but the amount of shit you've got to build onto them is insane. So we didn't. We went for the Canon C100 Mark II. We got two smaller Canon, I think the G24, 25s for the B and C cameras. Not expensive, just nice little camcorders. All HDMI going into SDMI converters, which will then go into a Blackmagic Duo 2 card where you can assign the ports as in or outs. Our old card wouldn't do that. And I updated the drivers the other day on the old card on the advice of the forum at Blackmagic, and promptly nothing works at all. So I've got to find out what was happening there. So that's great. We're going to buy the tripod plates, put the converters, put the card, put the camera. Now what we're doing with the help of Natalie is pricing up a streaming PC that we can rack up, so everything can be taken away. Nothing can be removed without violence again. And then we're going to look at a lens, and we're going to buy all the ancillary bits and pieces, like say the tripod plates and stuff, and then see where we're up to financially.
The good thing about the streaming setup being racked as well is it means you'll be able to host us. So if you want us to do trigger warning from your living room, then it's a possibility.
Unless you're mental. Sidewalk closest fancy shit, I just use my phone, and why not, dude? I mean, it's just because it's a studio and we're going to be doing the Richie Allen show there, trigger warning there. And we always try and go that little bit further, each time. The first time we got robbed, we came back even stronger with different gear, and we're just going to do the same this time. But believe me, if I couldn't do this or we didn't have that, I'd be doing this shit on my phone as well. Whatever works, dude. Whatever works. Are we back on Saturday night? We don't do Saturday nights, do we, Graham? I don't think we've ever done Saturday nights, have we?
No, we don't do Saturday. No, we definitely don't.
No, we do Tuesdays and Thursdays.
We do Tuesdays, Thursdays. I'm going to get back on my things soon. My little girl, well, you don't need to go into it, but I will be back soon. I will. It's killing me not doing it. But hopefully Thursday, very, very soon.
Oh, like I say, if not, it can't be this week, but if not next week, at worst, the week after. But what we're going to do, if we can't build the PC and everything before then, I'm going to take my PC from home, bang the card and the new software in there, and just carry it down there and carry it home every time, just so we can do this.
Dude, I've got to say as well, Q-Man donated $10 saying, keep up the good work, gentlemen. And Midget Porn Addist said, Hayden, you must now do the I'm a little teapot dance because I've paid you money. Dance for me, monkey. That's the message.
You should have put that in at the time of donation, dude.
It was 4 minutes ago.
Yeah, but no. You see, you can't do it like that. You got to put it in advance, because I could tell you you're wasting your money. But to be fair, when we're back in the studio, I will do the teapot dance and video it and put it maybe on the green screen. Oh yes, Charlie Girl, the Saturday night we did was the Meat Space event.
Oh,
that was a Saturday, and there will be another one of them, but later in the year. We're definitely doing another one of those, and
we'll probably launch it once the studio's back up and running. But we don't want to be asking for GoFundMe money and ticket money for Meat Space at the same time.
It's too much. Will we still stream Thursdays in this format? No. We'll go back to the studio. We might change up the studio thing a little bit, but we ideally want to do Tuesdays in the studio at some point as well.
Yeah, well, we've just done one, haven't we? We've just done a little test thing at the desk, and I think it went really well.
So I think that's the future. It's much more fun as well. Much more fun. So that's the plan, to do sort of this format in the studio on a Tuesday. This Thursday we'll probably still be doing this. Yeah. We're not going to not stream. We'll still be streaming, definitely. But for now, we've been on for like an hour and a half.
I know.
It's 5 past midnight. And
have you seen this?
I need a wee.
She's discovered blue tack recently. So look, there's just pictures appearing everywhere on my walls. It's just they're literally like all over the house, like any surface where one will go. It'll even be like thin ones like this.
Yeah.
You know,
Just
it'll just then
everywhere.
go up the side or something.
Quite right.
I don't mind. I'm not
Daz has
complaining.
just asked, by the way, it's probably too early to say, but later in the year, have you got an idea of when we don't? We'll make sure there's at least 3 months' notice if possible, okay?
Yeah.
And then we might look at another one later in the year because I think we could do 2 as long as we can keep the costs as low as we can. Maybe not take a bath like last time, but keep them down. And yeah,
Be nice. Maybe like end of April, May, something like that. Eh?
that'd be quite cool.
We're just maybe we could do it around the time of like a bank holiday or something to give people a bit of wriggle room.
I think Daz is coming up to visit us on the Easter break. He's coming up to Manchester, him and his girlfriend, so that might be nice if it happened around that time, wouldn't it?
Maybe we could aim for that. Let's see how it goes with the studio.
Yeah, but also it would mean me barely getting to speak to Daz, which kind of really suck.
You could shout right at him in his face.
I could do that. But that's what I usually do on the phone to Daz. So
he'll be right there, won't he?
But yeah, we're definitely going to do a meet space though because we really enjoyed the last one.
It was good, and there's definitely like there's things you can only learn from physically doing it that we definitely we can take to the next one.
One is I need to find a new Rachel Corrie, obviously, because the response I got from that one was fantastic with the anger and the hatred. So I need to find a new one. I'm sure I'll find one.
Yeah.
Sure I'll find one. Basically, you can throw a brick at the whole Israel-Palestine story and find something to really drive someone up the wall. It's just the Rachel Corrie one was like just still obviously a very raw wound for some people.
Why don't I do 20 minutes at the start of it just debunking all these fake child murder videos from that supposedly come out of Palestine, and there'll just be one person in the audience just rattled.
Oh yeah, they're twitching to fuck.
They've only come to meet Richie Allen, and they're just like, what the fuck is fucking going fucking on here?
Oh, if there's one thing I guarantee, we're never going to do in the Minster again. Never in a million fucking years. It was a good idea, very poorly executed. So, no, we won't be doing in the Minster. But there's other things we missed out that we can do anyway. So.
We had other ideas. We had other things. I think there's other things we can do in terms of interaction that'd be more fun. Like definitely, I think safe space would be safe space could fall apart in the way in the Minster did, but we wouldn't be as committed because each one is a minute and then we move on.
Don't worry because if the suggestions are lacking, I'll step up to the plate and help out.
Exactly. There's not a problem, is there?
But I really want to do safe space at the next meet space. That'd be fucking beautiful.
We've got it. Well, we promised it last time, didn't we? But not that I mind for anyone who wasn't there. The cameras went off. It became a massive group talk. I mean, obviously, we sort of had to try and moderate it a little bit in terms of shutting people down if they wouldn't shut up. But it was really good.
Where's Sutty? It's usually him. If you're not in dude and you watch this in the replay, it's usually you.
Sutty was hammered, wasn't he?
He was fucking great. Though.
But I don't think it was bad. I mean, even when he was like talking over people and stuff, there, I don't think anyone left with like bad feelings towards him. They just wankered.
It was part of the fun. It was part of the fun. But yeah, we'll definitely do safe space at the next one. We might do a completely different format to the one we tried at the last one. We'll see. But for now, we are going to go. But we're going to be back on Thursday, probably 10:30. Because it has to be after everyone's in bed, doesn't it? So we'll be back on Thursday, 10:30. We'll probably release some clips between them. Thanks very much to Alex for manning the buttons behind the scenes. So thank you very much. That's very good of you. And again, I am going to say, while we're still trying to chase up the funding and things, thanks to Richie Allen and Mark Bayersky for all your help.
Yeah, and Natalie actually. I mean,
I've not forgotten Natalie. Believe me, she did massive help through this in a couple of different ways. And I mean, literally, Graham, I've got an email stacked with options. Options of what I can buy and what the links are and what's recommended and all these things. She's not here now, so I've not managed to come across. So, would you build it if we sent the bits to you?
Reply and say, can I have less options? Can I just have a price?
Yes. Would you just build it and ship it to us, please? That would be
Yeah,
lovely.
because she's just giving you options because she doesn't realise what we've been doing for the last week in terms of just phoning and chatting endlessly about each little individual thing. But we're spending other people's money.
That's
so
the thing. That's the thing. That's where the
matters.
pressure comes in. When it's spending your
Yeah.
own money, it's difficult. When you're spending money other people have invested in you.
Yeah, mate, when I turn up with a gavel for the show, I just spent 15 quid on a gavel, mate, and we both just laugh. Because it doesn't matter, because it's our money. Look at these fake tits. Do you remember those fake tits I brought in? We never
Oh, God,
used
yeah.
them. I don't
No,
know
we
where they
never
went.
use- Like the dildo.
Yeah, don't give a fuck. But if it was someone else's money that had been entrusted,
Then it's a problem.
yeah.
But yeah, what we'll do as we go through it, we'll tell you guys everything that we bought, show everything that we spent the money on, because it's the right way of doing things. And we'll go from there. But listen, guys, we'll be back on Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, it's been educational, enlightening, stunning, and brave. This has been Trigger Warning, and gosh, we do wish you all a very good night. Bye-bye.
Night-night.
It's time for
Fuck
trigger
you, Happy Dog.
warning.
Trigger warning. Fuck your feelings, you little snowflake. Triggerwarning.tv.
How dare you!